Hi everyone, Randy from A Dreamy Bohemian. I just wanted to come on today and show you something that kind of got my groove back on. I had made these flowers a really long time ago and had forgotten about them. And I came across them the other day in my craft room, and I just remembered how fun they were and how pretty they turned out, and posted them in the group Boho Daydreams, and everybody was asking questions about them and how to do them. So I just thought I would quickly come on and show a few tidbits. So I initially saw a video a long time ago about on YouTube. I can't remember what the exact name of it was, but it was something like the most beautiful flowers or something like that. Anyway, I watched, and there was a girl, and she was making flowers out of fabric using a tea light, and I was like, wow, that seems like a really long process, and it kind of overwhelmed me at first, and so I hadn't tried it. And then I don't know how long ago, but Chrissie posted her by request how I make my fairy flowers, and so I really like the way that she did hers and how simple she made it look. And so I tried it, and these are what I came up with after I watched her video. And I think she does a lot of shabby chic maybe, and some boho. And mine are not exactly like hers. Hers, well, some of them like this look more like hers, but I have some that are more flat too, just because of the fabric that I chose. Anywho, long story short, I tend to ramble. I was going to show you how I did this and how to kind of test your fabrics and see. It's kind of trial and error. The thing that I do know is that you have to use synthetic fabrics. Silk, cotton, and things of that nature do not work. They just burn, and so they don't crinkle like you would want them to. So for this process, you just use a tea light, and that's what I've seen everybody use. I don't know if you can use a votive or anything else. It just said tea light, so that's what I've been going with. So I gathered up a bunch of fabrics that I liked and just kind of went to town trying what I thought might work. And so here, like, it's really hard to see what the fabrics are. Like, you can tell this is a pink synthetic, a purple. Here is like a metallic piece. This is a piece from a dress, a synthetic material. There's some more, or there's, I really like this piece. It's shimmery. And then some more of that dress, and then it looks like taffeta, and I don't know if taffeta is synthetic or not, but that's what that looks like. So I just kind of rummaged through my drawers of fabric and came up with a bunch of things. Oh, look, my candle went out. Of course. And then, found these things here that I thought I would try. And this is not all of them. Obviously, you see the purple and other colors, but I wanted to show you how some of these fabrics behaved. This is not, let's just say this is not the safest thing you could ever do. And you have to be very careful. You can catch fabric on fire. You can burn your fingers. If you let the fabric fall and you freak out, you can catch your space on fire. So you need to be careful, and make sure that going into doing this that it is, I'm trying to light my candle here. One of the things that you definitely don't want a child doing, it's definitely just an adult craft. So if I can get my tea light going here, I had all my stuff sitting outside, and this tea light got wet, so hopefully it'll keep going for me. Tea lights too, I have noticed the longer that they burn, the less effective they are in curling your fabrics. So I'm going to show you a few right here that did not work. So this is some sheer fabric with metallic thread in it, and it just wanted to burn. Now it does, if you watch here, if you can see the flame, yeah, see? It does catch on fire. So that's not something that you want to use. So I threw that out. Here was the lining of a fabric that I thought would maybe work, and it doesn't. It just burns. You can see that. It just makes a burn spot in it. Other floppier fabrics seem to behave differently, like they will singe on the edges, and sometimes they won't crinkle up as much. But let's see. So I'm going to take this piece right here that I have, and I'm going to make a couple of circles out of this. The fabric that you use, get my bigger scissors, doesn't have to be really big. And you kind of need all sizes. I'm not cutting here because I don't want to cut over my tea light. And it doesn't matter, too, if you're cutting a perfect circle. Excuse me, I seem to have a frog in my throat. Chrissie showed where she folded fabric over, like she took longer pieces of fabric and folded it over and then cut her circles. Of course, it was bigger than this and wider than that. And that works really well. I just happen to have some pieces here that are already cut up. So you see this one's not necessarily, maybe you can see it over there, a perfect circle, but to me that doesn't matter. So the thing to keep in mind when you're doing this, when you start out with your fabrics, if you don't know how they behave, is I take it and hold it over the flame pretty high up and see what happens. So you can see right here, this crinkled up for us. Not a whole lot, but it didn't catch on fire, so that was good. So I'm going to continue going around. And the closer you get it to the flame, obviously the more aggressive the flame is going to be on the piece of fabric, but you just want to be careful, go around, don't catch it on fire. And if you do, you know, don't drop that piece of fabric, just blow it out quickly. So here I'm just going around on the edges. So you see how that crinkles up, and then you can go back around if you want, or I missed this one. So that's pretty good. So we know that piece will work, and then you can go into the middle and crinkle it up some more to give it some more texture and depth. And so that laid it a little more flat. So I won't do this one because we already know that one works. I want to take this black piece. I like to use black. It gives the flower a little bit of weight, you know, maybe on the back end, or just a little bit of depth in it so you can see the layers. I think I might. Do I have two here? Oh, no. And I don't put black in all of them, but I do like the mixture of light and dark for a more boho look. And you can use all colors. I just happen to have these colors is what I was drawn to, these purples and these pinks and creams and tans and things, grays. All right, so that one turned out really cool. Look at that. That really looks like a flower. Love that. So set that aside, and this fabric is really pretty. So here's a really big square. So I'm going to take this and cut some bigger circles out of it. I'm going to move that over. Actually, I'm going to move it over here. Catch this place on fire. I don't really think the fire department can make it down our driveway, I've been told. So don't think we want our house to catch on fire. Okay. That was messy. All right, so I'm going to take this piece, and now let's see what this one does. It's a little more floppy, so it's a little harder to hold and deal with, but so I'm going to use 2 hands. And see, that goes up nicely. And that, with this metallic thread, I initially thought it might do like that other piece of fabric did and burn, but it's different. So you just never know what's going to happen, which is frustrating and cool at the same time. See, this one's kind of bending over underneath. So let's see. I could flip it this way. And then kind of hit it in the middle there a little bit. And if you burn a hole in it, it's not necessarily a bad thing because your layers are going to cover that up. So here you can see if we put that together, that's what that looks like. Let's see, this is a gray piece and I don't remember what this one does. I'm just going to see real quick. I'm sorry, I'm trying not to cut over that tea light because it's pretty hot. All right, whenever I fold that over like that, it kind of turns out more of an oval, which I don't really want. Okay, so this is a little metallic piece of fabric. Okay, yep, that's doing pretty good. Some of them curl up more than others. This one's really curling. So let me show you this too. So I was kind of hitting it from underneath. Now, if you take it and you hold it up and you do like that, it just kind of gets the edges. I don't know if you can see that. And so it's not as crinkled as that is. So you can do a couple of different ways. I kind of like the really crinkly effect. And then go back in the middle. Let's see, we've got a whole new look starting there. This was a good one. I thought this one wasn't going to work, but it did. It's a good neutral color. Now it does singe up a little bit, so I'm going to stay a little bit further away. And nothing has to be perfect. I mean, if you look at flowers in nature, they are nowhere near perfect. So nothing has to be 100% symmetrical or perfect. In fact, I find the more non-symmetrical they are, the prettier they look. Let's try this. I keep going for that color combo. I just like it. So you get the point, okay? So I'm going to blow my candle out and I'm going to show you how to put everything together. All right. Here are a bunch of pieces that have already been melted or singed or whatever you want to call it. So you can burn a bunch at a time or you can work on a flower at a time. I kind of find like I want to do the process with the candle first, and then I want to figure out what I want to do because to me it's just easier that way. So here is more of a shabby chic looking one. So here's some goldish tan. And see, you can make really big pieces. You can make small pieces. You need pieces of all sizes. And then start layering them is all you're doing, really. You can put more than, you know, one of the same color together. No, I don't like that. I can go like this. So now you can take and you can sew this together right now at this point, but I don't know. I just like instant gratification, so I usually use Fabri-Tac or Fabrifix, which is the same thing, or you can use a glue stick. I've seen it done both ways. So you would do that, and then comes the fun part. So we have somewhere here, I've already made this little mess. Where did my beads go? Oh, here we go. Some beads. So you can always put beads in here. See how pretty that looks with that bead in the middle? I had some, where did it go? Oh, here we go. Some fibers, which I love. So if you cut a little piece of fibers or eyelash trim, whatever you call this stuff, everybody calls it something different. Put it there. You can put it underneath your flower. That looks really pretty. You can boho stuff up. You can shabby chic stuff up. So let me see. Let me get my, I thought I had some lace in here. All right, so I have this lace and then I have some crochet. So you can take, and you don't even have to put it all over the flower. Oh, I was going to show you this. This knit kind of just melted on the ends, so I didn't really go around it all the way very much. I just cut it and kind of let it be. But so you can slide that in and let that stick out like that. You can do all kinds of things. I have some flowers, some feathers here, and this is actually only part of a feather. So I kind of pull the feather apart and get a little piece. Then you can put that. Let's put it on the inside here. So now you've got some feathers. Of course, we're not sticking together because I didn't glue it down to save time. But so you see, and you can put, let's see, where's some more of this? So I'm gonna cut this in two. You can let this hang out over here. You can stick a piece in over there, like that. It's kind of moving on me. Okay, you get the point. It's moving all over the place. I should have glued it down. Why don't we glue it down? Let's just get real here, okay? All right. There's 1, 2. It doesn't matter with the Fabri-Tac if it shows through the fabric. It usually doesn't on these synthetics. Just put a little dot in the middle. And see if you put a bigger piece in, it kind of folds over like that and it just looks so pretty. I don't know what this one would look like. I don't know. Let's get this one in first. It's so fun deciding what to put in there. And there's like 1,000,001 combinations. Let's hold that down for a second while it sets up. Okay. All right, and so where did my little tiny piece go? Ah, that I had in the middle. Oops, it's trying to pull up on me. So I'm just gonna stick that like that, and then put this bead in the middle. Still waiting for some of that to dry. I mean, look how gorgeous that is all by itself right there. And I love putting those iridescent beads in there. And it only took one. You can use 3 or 4. You know, like flowers have all kinds of little stamen or whatever you call that in the middle. And let's take our lace. Let's see where we want that. Go right there. I'm going to pop a little bit of glue. Oh, this Fabri-Tac is evil on the end of this feather. So I can stick it in and it will stay. And I'm sorry about the light, guys. It's really late here. But it just is what it is sometimes, isn't it? Now, this gets tricky, this fiber and Fabri-Tac. We're going to make it work. Let's stick one in there. It needs to go a little bit further in. There we go. And I had another one. Oh, there we go. Having a Fabri-Tac party over here. I'm sure you're much neater than me. Just not. Ah. Okay. All right. Get this stuff off my fingers. Okay, sorry. So there you go. You could put feathers all around it. I don't know. I just love the little pops like that. You could put any color fiber in here, eyelash trim. You could put those little, I think Chrissie had some of those like pearls on a string, except for they were more bead-like. Those looked really pretty coming off. There are so many things that you could do. You could put sari pieces in here, like little snippets, or I have no words today. What am I trying to say? Scraps. You know, that little offcuts that you could slide in there and it'd be really pretty. So there's that. I really like the ones with the feathers. Here's kind of a teal color feather with some purple. There's a feather right here with a bead. And let's see how many layers we did. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did about 7. I think Chrissie said she usually likes at least 10. I'd make some smaller ones too, and they don't have as many layers sometimes. But look how tiny you can get. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 7. So I tend to do about 7. Let's see what this one is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one has 6. Now this flower right here, or this piece right here, I cut into it and made a shape for it to get it to have those more petal look to it. So you can do that as well. I just stuck some of that metallic material in here. See, it's not a layer. And then I just stuck some lace in there, and then a feather here. So you can do all kinds of things and all kinds of color combinations. This one it's just got a little gold bead in the middle of it. It's another one with a feather. And this one only has a few layers. If you're doing journals and you want, oh, I think that was a spare feather. If you want the flower to fit somewhere in there or on there, you might not want so many layers. And so this one is only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers. Now see that taupey piece that we did, how pretty that offsets that really iridescent bead. And then you've got the metallic and the floral. So possibilities are endless, totally endless. Here is another one that's on the, it kind of crinkled more like that than laying flat, but I like this one. And then I've got a piece of that metallic purple, and then I put 3 beads on here, put some feathers in it. This one was, this material turned out really hard when I melted it. I mean, it still bends, but it's kind of on the hard side. It seems like the more metallic the stuff is, the harder it is. But then here's some little ones that I haven't done that are still in process. I've done some red, things like that. So you can see, I mean, I just went on forever and ever and ever. See how pretty the black looks? I really, really like that. Oh yeah, and you can put tulle in there. I found that doesn't burn very well. I mean, it does burn very well. It just burns up. It catches on fire, and the material goes away. So tulle or netting or things of that nature like this, like I just usually roll it up and stick it in there, because you're not going to burn this stuff. It's just going to disappear and catch on fire. Here's a little pink one. And yeah, see this one, I put some of that tulle in it, if you can see it. And then some black eyelash trim and a feather. So they're just really fun project, you know, especially when you don't know what you want to do, you're having one of those days. I mean, you can make flowers forever. So I have put together some kits, and I've got some of this fabric that I used in these flowers together. I've sold all out already, but if you want to be on the waiting list, the colors are not going to be the same. I will show you what the colors are turning out to be. Hold on here, I'm going to rescue my fabric tack. Or actually, I'm going to rescue my floor from my fabric tack. Look at that. It just rolling out of there. So here, let's see if I can get it in here, is maybe this way. Here are going to be the colors that I do next. And then I also have, I'll show you on the floor. I'm going to take my camera and move it over here, so don't get dizzy. Look, these colors that I'm going to add to one. But it takes a lot of material to do one of these flower kits because, you know, of all the layers. And so it takes a little bit of time to put stuff together. So it's not going to be right away that I get them put together. So if you want on the list, just make sure you know that and that you have time to wait for it. I'm going to try to do some this week. But so what I include is some feathers. The feathers may not always be the same, depending on what I have on hand. And then I've put some fibers in. And then I made some bead kits, or some little beads. So this is more than enough beads, probably, than you need. And I'm sure a lot of you out there in the crafting world already have your own beads, and you may like something different. Who knows? But so what you get with the kit is a couple of tea lights. I've got some on order. Some feathers, fibers, the fabric, and the beads. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it made sense. And I hope you have a wonderful Sunday evening. It's good to be back on YouTube, and I've missed you guys. And we will talk at you later. Bye.